Beloved saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Before Migdol, Part 1, in the 40 years in the wilderness, from the second book of Redemptive History series, The Covenant of the Torch. When we look in Numbers 33 verse 7, it says that during the 40 years in the wilderness, Before Migdol was the third campsite that the Israelites stayed in. Migdol was a town located on the northern end of the Red Sea. So Before Migdol was a flat area of seashore large enough for the 2 million people of Israel to camp. The southern end of Migdol coastline is mountainous. These mountains were very useful as lookout points to detect the movements of the Egyptian army. That is how the name Migdol was derived. Migdol means fortress or tower. First, God moved a pillar of cloud to stand behind the Israelite people. When we look in Exodus chapter 14 verses 3 to 9, Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and his army pursued the Israelite people with 600 of the best chariots, along with all the other chariots of Egypt. And then they finally arrived where the Israelites were staying. But something amazing happened. The angel of God and the pillar of cloud that was in the front moved and went behind the camp of Israel. Then it separated the camp of Israel from the army of Egypt. In Exodus 14 verses 19 to 20 it says, "Then the angel of God who had been traveling in front of Israel's army withdrew and went behind them. The pillar of cloud also moved from in front and stood behind them, coming between the armies of Egypt and Israel. Throughout the night, the cloud brought darkness to the one side and light to the other side, so neither went near the other all night long." Everyone, how amazing is God's providence. With one pillar of cloud, God has separated and kept the Israelites safe from the Egyptian army. The Egyptian army that were not chosen by God were in complete darkness, while the Israelite people that were chosen by God dwelt in light. This is why the Egyptian army were not able to attack the Israelite people, as they waited for the Red Sea to part and the dry land to appear. Beloved saints, let us all believe that our God is such a God that creates amazing miracles. We who have been chosen by God have no need for fear. Wherever we go, the power of darkness will be driven out, and God will not let the evil ones touch us. Let us always be abundant in this bright glory of our God. I bless in the name of the Lord. Second, God parted the Red Sea with a strong east wind. In Exodus 14 verse 21, it says, "Then Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Lord swept the sea back by a strong east wind all night, and turned the sea into dry land, so the waters were divided." According to a study by modern scientists, a wind of at least 240 miles per hour would be needed to part the Red Sea. There is no way for man to create such wind even with today's technology. But our God was able to do so with the blast of God's nostrils and by rebuking the Red Sea. How amazing is God's work. In Exodus 15 verse 8 it says, "And at the blast of your nostrils the waters were piled up, the flowing waters stood up like a heap, the deeps were congealed in the heart of the sea." In Psalms 106 verse 9 it says, "Thus he rebuked the Red Sea and it dried up, and he led them through the deeps as through the wilderness." Beloved saints, our God can turn what we thought was impossible into a possibility. Even with something small, he can create his amazing miracles. So let us not despair and believe in him, and let us trust and pray to him. In Matthew 21 verse 22 it says, "And all things you ask in prayer, believing, you will receive. In Mark chapter 11, verse 24, it says, "Therefore I say to you, all things for which you pray and ask, believe that you have received them, and they will be granted to you." So today, let us believe in our God who has parted the Red Sea, and let us have a blessed day of victory. I bless in the name of the Lord.